Hello, kid. Welcome to another interesting class with your favorite teacher. This week, we will be learning about changing states. By changing states, I mean changing states of matter. Of course, you know that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space, and that there are three states of matter. Now, in today's class, you will learn how matter can change from one state to another. For example, a solid can become a liquid and a liquid can become a gas. So if you are ready, let's begin as I take you on this very interesting tour. There are three states of matter. First is solids, for example, rock. We have liquids, for example, water. And we have gas, for example, steam. Now, how can these states of matter move from one form to another? Of course, due to temperature change. The reason why matter can move from one state to another is because of a change in temperature. It's either the temperature rises or it falls. Okay, so now let's go further to know the impact of the rise and fall of temperature on matter. Now, when solids change to become gas, the process is called sublimation. When it changes to a liquid, it is called melting. When a liquid becomes a solid, it is called freezing. And when a gas becomes a solid, it is called decantation, as you can see on the screen. But there are more that you will learn from this video. So let's keep going. Solids can become liquids when there is a rise in temperature. Yeah, I told you earlier that matter can change states when there is a rise or a fall in temperature. So in this case, there is a rise in temperature, and that is what makes a solid to become a liquid. For example, when you bring out ice from your freezer and put it on the table, probably on your kitchen, or you decide to put it in a hot pot, whatever the case, you observe that after some time, the ice starts to melt. Or let's say you put the ice out of the freezer and you just put it in your lunch pack, it will still melt. This is because the temperature in the freezer is lower than the temperature outside the freezer. That means that the freezer is colder than the room. So because now the ice, so to speak, feels hot. Like when you feel hot, you sweat, right? So when the ice feels hot, it now melts. And that process is called melting. So this is melting of ice to water. You can see the ice in this case melting to water. Let's go further. Liquids can change to gas. And the process whereby a liquid changes to a gas is called evaporation. Evaporation. It is a change of water or a liquid to gas. How does it happen? When there is a rise in temperature. Melting and evaporation result from a rise in temperature. Okay, so in evaporation there's a rise. For example, you put water inside a pot and you turn on your heater. The temperature, the heat from the heater is going to increase the temperature of the water. And after some time, the water starts to evaporate and turn to steam. Right? For example, water can become gas with an increase in temperature, like I just explained. So that is what makes liquid turn to gas. Now this is a picture of water turning to steam. Heating water in a kettle. Condensation is a change of gas to liquid. We have seen the meaning of or how solids can change to liquid. We have seen how liquids can change to gas. Now we are looking at how gases can change to liquids, and the name of that process is called condensation. Condensation, it condenses. And what results? It takes place when there is a fall in temperature. The other two, melting and evaporation, result from a rise in temperature, but condensation here results from a fall in temperature. That means the weather becomes colder. Okay, let me give you an example. When you are boiling rice, the pot is so hot, so steam comes out. You see it coming out from the sides of the pot, and after some time the rice is cooked or the food is cooked, whatever it is you are cooking, you turn off the heater and then you allow it to cool down. You observe that later when you open the pot or the cover of that pot, water gathers on the inside. Have you ever asked yourself where that water comes from? Yes, it's that steam, the steam that you saw coming out from the pot earlier. Because you stopped cooking, there was no more heat applied. The steam now cooled down to form water again, which now collected on the inside of the pot cover. So that process is called condensation. It takes place when there is a fall in temperature. For example, steam changes to water. And this is a picture showing condensation of steam to water. Right? When liquids turn to solids, the process is called freezing. And freezing is a change of liquid to solid. It's easy and short. It happens too when there is a fall in temperature. So now you've learned it's balanced. Melting and evaporation rise in temperature. Condensation and freezing fall in temperature. For example, water freezes to become ice. Yes, the temperature inside the freezer is lower than that outside the freezer. So when you take water and put it in the freezer and it stays for a long time, it turns to ice. So you can imagine why it snows abroad. It means that the temperature at that time is the same as the temperature of your freezer in your house, or even lower. Imagine such cold. That is why snows can form on the streets abroad. You can see ice covering water, there are rivers and etc. So next time you think of traveling abroad, think of the cold. But don't be scared. Now this is an example of water then turns to ice. This person here is pouring water into this container and is going to put in the freezer. I'm sure you have such containers in your fridges or freezers. And after some time it turns to ice and you can break them out. I like them. I like ice. I like to lick it. Now sublimation is the change of a solid to a gas. This one is kind of strange because ordinarily a solid should become a liquid before it becomes a gas. But in this case, a solid just becomes gas straight off. Okay, so there are particular reasons why this takes place, right? For example, camphor can become camphor gas. How many of you know what camphor is? It comes in different colors, but mostly white, different shapes. Smells nice. Yes, some people like the smell. Some children actually mistake it for sweets. And when I was much younger, they hide it from children so that they don't mistakenly put it in the mouth. But there was something peculiar about it. When you put camphor in your house, your mom or your dad brings it in big. But after some time, it starts to reduce in size and gradually it disappears. And then you wonder, where did this camphor go? That's because in its solid state, it gradually changes to a gas. And because it's a gas, it blends with the air and then it's gone. You see, so that's a sublimable substance, an example of a sublimable substance. Dry ice is another example. So these are examples of sublimable substances. Gas can also form solids, like straight up. And some persons say the process is called decantation, others say it is called resublimation. Whatever the case, just know that gases can become solids, just like solids can become gases. So this is a sublimation of dry ice. Dry ice, right? In case you don't know, this is used in forming smoke in your, when you go for wedding receptions. A time comes, there's smoke everywhere on the stage. All right, to add extra effects to probably a presentation. It is done with dry ice. So now you know. I hope you enjoyed the class. I look forward to having another interesting class with you next week. But for now, it is a goodbye from me to you. So stay safe and goodbye.